Good morning, grade 4. Let's start our culture session. And our today's lesson is ancient Mesopotamia. We took before ancient Egypt, and now we're gonna take ancient Mesopotamia. And what's the meaning of ancient? Ancient means old, and Mesopotamia which is now Iraq. What is the meaning of the word Mesopotamia? What is the meaning of the word Mesopotamia? Grade 4. Mesopotamia means the land between two rivers. Means the land between two rivers. Actually, Mesopotamia is a land and surrounded by two rivers, Tigris and Euphrates. People in Mesopotamia did wonderful civilization. They did wonderful civilization. We're gonna study everything together in details. As you see here in the picture, Mesopotamia means the land, here is the land, between the two rivers, Tigris and Euphrates. That's why they named it Mesopotamia, because it's a land and it has two rivers from both sides. When the people started to settle grade 4, they settled down in the south of Mesopotamia. This region is called Sumer. Actually, the nomad people, remember the nomad people? People who didn't have settled home. They don't have a settled or specific home. When they started to live, when they started to settle their homes, they settled in the south of Mesopotamia, here in this region, which is called Sumer. That's why they called the people there Sumerians. It's from this name, from the name of the region. That's why they named the people Sumerians, from the name of the region, which is Sumer. Actually, the Sumerians did the first civilization. They did the first civilization. They set rules for everything. They did their own way of life. They did their own system. They were the first people in Mesopotamia they were the first people who did the civilization, and they were the first people who set rules for everything, and they put system in everything. As you see here in the map, grade 4, it's in the south, it's down. You have here north, up, and here is south, down. As you see here in the Sumer, in this region, you have different cities. But when the nomad people, they moved here in this fertile land. Why it's fertile? Fertile because it's near the river. And once there is a land near the river, that means that this land is fertile, is ready for everything because of the water. All right? Here, as you see, you have different cities here related to the Sumer part, the Sumer region. Here you have Ur and you have Uruk, you have Nippur, you have Kish, Lagash. You have here all these cities are related to Sumer, related to this region, the Sumer part. Actually, the capital city here is Uruk. The capital city, the capital city here is Uruk. It's the major city in the Sumerian civilization. It's here in the south, Uruk. This is one of the major, or the capital, the most important cities. And the famous king of this city is Gilgamesh. And of course, all of you know or you heard about that king, and we read his story together before. So the famous king of this city is Gilgamesh. He was the king. Let's go to the building part. If we go back grade 4 to the map, remember when I told you that here is the Sumer region? And here are the cities that were related to the Sumer region. Actually, grade 4, each city has its own king, and each city has its own god. The Sumerians built at the center of each city a large, tall building structure. This building structure is called ziggurat. It was built, here is the ziggurat. Actually, ziggurat is a temple the Sumerians built. They built this temple to honor the main god of the city. They built this temple to honor the main god of the city. They want to show them how much they were dedicated, how much they love and respect them. So these temples were built to the main god of the city. As you see here, grade 4, it looks like a step pyramid. It's from 2 to 7 layers. It's from 2 to 7 layers. It looks like a step pyramid. At the top of the ziggurat, grade 4, there is a shrine at the top of the ziggurat. What is a shrine? It's a sacred place for the priests to get inside and do some worships, do some kind of prayer to their god. Let's read together. Each city-state also had its own god. In the center of each city was a large temple to the city god called a ziggurat. It's from 2 to 7 layers. The ziggurat looked like a step pyramid with a flat top. Here the priests would perform ceremonies to worship their gods. So as I said here, at the top of the ziggurat, there is a shrine. This shrine, the priests went there and they did some kind of praise, they did ceremonies, they did some religious ceremonies to worship their gods, to show them how much they were dedicated, how much they loved them. And the priests means the religious men. And only the religious men, the priests, that were allowed to get inside this shrine. The top part here, the flat top part. All right, grade 4. So, as we said before, the Sumerians did the first civilization for everything. Let's start with the first part. The first part we're going to talk about is the new agricultural techniques. What's the meaning of new agricultural techniques? That means that they used new ways for planting. They invented new techniques for planting. As you see here in the picture. So as I said, grade 4, Sumerians did the first civilization. They put system for everything. They set rules for everything. As you see here, the ziggurat was the tallest building in each city. The ziggurat, this temple, was the largest and the tallest building in each city. So we talked about the agricultural techniques now, and we talked about the buildings. See grade 4 how they were putting system for everything and how they were inventing new ways of life in everything. Let's go to the measurement part. The Sumerians, grade 4, used number 60 to divide the hours and the minutes. They used number 60 and they said that the hour equal 60 minutes and the minute equal 60 seconds. So they used number 60 and they divided the hours and the minutes. So they used it to divide the hours and the minutes. Let's read together. The Mesopotamians used number system with the base 60. They divided time up by 60s, including a 60-second minute and a 60-minute hour, which we still use today. So they used number 60 to divide the hours and the minute, and we are still using it till today, till now. And also they divided the circle grade 4 into 360. All right, let's go to the transportation part. Archaeologists found the world's oldest wheel in Mesopotamia. Sumerians were the first to attach wheel to carts. They built two-wheeled and four-wheeled carts pulled by oxen or donkeys. For water travel, Mesopotamians built different kind of boats. The earliest boat was shaped like basket and built from reeds and covered by animal skin. Look at the picture grade 4 on the left side first. History said that archaeologists found the first wheel, the oldest wheel in Mesopotamia land. That means that the Sumerians were the first people who invented the wheel. Actually, they put two wheels to the cart. They attached the two wheels to the cart, and then they attached four wheels to the cart. So actually, before, as we said before, they did a civilization. They created, they invented new stuff. They changed their way of life to the better and better. What about water travel? If you look at the picture on the right side, they even invented different kind of boats. Look here, grade 4, the one on the right is the oldest kind of boat they invented. It's called basket boat. As you see, it looked like the basket. They said that it's made from reeds. Reeds, it's a kind of plant, and it's covered with the animal skin. So see how much they were creative and how much they were smart. They were inventing new stuff. That's why they did the first civilization. All right, grade 4. Let's go to the transportation part. Do you know that archaeologists found out the first oldest wheel in Mesopotamia? This is what the history books wrote, that the archaeologists find out the first oldest wheel in Mesopotamia. That means that the Sumerians may be the first people who invented the wheel. They were the first people who created or invented the wheel. So let's read together. Archaeologists found the world's oldest wheel in Mesopotamia. Sumerians were the first to attach wheel to carts. They built two-wheeled and four-wheeled carts pulled by oxen or donkey. For water travel, Mesopotamians built different kinds of boats. The earliest boat was shaped like basket, built from reeds, and covered with animal skin. So if you look at the picture here on the left side, here are the oldest wheel archaeologists found in Mesopotamia. So the Sumerians were the first people who invented the wheel. And not only that, for water travel, they invented even boats and different kind of boats. But the first boat they invented is the basket boat. As you see here in the picture, on the right side, it's a basket boat. It's made from reeds. It's a kind of plant, and it's covered with animal skin. So, as I said again, they did civilization, they invented new ways of life, they created new ways for everything in life. Let's go to the writing part, which I like. Actually, the Sumerians were the first people even who invented or created new ways of writing. As you see here in the picture, this kind of writing is called cuneiform. Cuneiform. Which means wedge shaped. As you see here in the picture, this is the wedge shape grade 4. This is the wedge shape. Why they called it or why they named it cuneiform? Because it has the shape of the wedges here. It has the shape of the wedge as you see here in the picture. But when they start writing, the Sumerians, they used picture symbols, which is called pictograph. What's meant by that? For example, if I wanna write something about head, if I wanna write head, so I will draw the head. If I wanna write bottle, I'll draw the bottle. If I wanna write mobile, I'll draw the mobile. So when they started writing, for example, a drawing of person's head means the word head. Writing was inscribed on clay tablets. Scribes, which means the writers, would use a stick made from a reed and press the lines and symbols into soft, moist clay. Once they were done, they would let the clay harden and they had a permanent record. So as I said, they used moist, wet like slimy, a little bit clay. They used the reeds, it's a kind of plant, to write. It's as if it's a pencil, but because they don't have pencils yet, so they used reeds to carve or to write. And then they leave the clay till it's hard to make sure that the records that they wrote is hard, is permanent, is not going to disappear. All right? This type of writing is called cuneiform writing, which means wedge shape. And as I said, what's the meaning of wedge is as you see here in the picture. Here is the wedge shape. See, grade 4, and then later on they started to create the sounds and the letters. Over time, the writing of the Sumerians further developed to include sounds and meanings. Some of the writing are literature, and the most famous story of all the Mesopotamian literature is the story of Gilgamesh. As I said before, the scribes, the writers, were recording everything. Everything happening, they were recording it. Everything related to the government, as I said, everything for planting, wars, transportation, whatever, everything is happening, ceremonies, parties, they were, even the story, literature means even the stories. And that's why we read together the story of Gilgamesh. How could we know it? We knew it from their records. We knew it from their records. All right, grade 4. So let's read the summary together. People in Mesopotamia, especially the Sumerians, made many achievements. They created innovation, means new ways in agriculture, planting, measurements, building, and transportation. They were perhaps the first to use the wheel and sailboat and writing. These innovations helped the people of Mesopotamia build an early civilization. So that's why grade 4, the Sumerians were the first people who did the civilization, who put system for everything. Writing, building, measurements, agricultural techniques, and everything. So you have a small assignment. I want you to do it. Grade 4. Here, the Mesopotamians made many innovations. Innovations means new ways, new techniques, and developed a civilization. Write about these innovations. I want you, grade 4, in one paragraph, just summarize what we have said. I want you to write about the new techniques or the new ways that they invented in everything, in agriculture, in building, in measurements, in everything. I want you to write a short or one paragraph about these innovations, about these new ways, about these new techniques that the Sumerians invented. Make sure to write first your ideas in points before you start writing your paragraph, because you can start like that. You should first set or put points and then gather these points in a paragraph. Use the word first between the sentences. Use first they did, or first they invented, and then talk, and then second, and then you can use next, then. Use transition words and take care from the punctuation. Start with a capital letter and ends with full stop. Do it in your culture copybooks and send it to me on LMS. Or you can send it on email, on my email. Thanks a lot for listening, and I missed you so much. Thank you.